standing here next to the new Oliver 15-inch planer. This is a helical head planer, and it's sort of a hybrid between a lunchbox, sort of job site portable planer, and a more stationary shop planer. Oliver did send this to John, so it's already assembled, but John said assembly was super easy. You just attach this in-feed table, the out-feed table, your dust shroud here, and your height adjustment knob. I'm going to give you an inside look at the cutter head. Like I said, this is a helical cutter head. It's a 2 3/8 inch diameter, and they provide a little Torx driver right here in the top. So we can pop off this cover and take a look. See, we've been using the planer. So these thumb screws, they're a little bit finicky, but this isn't something that you're going to be pulling off often. So you see we have these 4 Torx and the 2 thumb screws to get to the cutter head. So nice cutter head here. We'll unplug it so that we're not in any danger. So a nice milled cutter head here. We have these 4-sided carbide inserts. So these are actually able to be turned. So you get 4 times the cutting life basically when these are dull, or let's say you were to hit a brad nail or something like that and you were to chip this tooth, well, you could turn just this tooth and get rid of that little line that you'll end up with. But now we can put the cover back on. We'll look at some of the features in the front and we'll send some boards through. This is a 220 volt saw. So you see we have a different looking plug. So this is a 15 amp. If it was 20 amp, you would have this going in the opposite direction. So you do need a 220 outlet, which means you get more power. And you're using less amperage. So this is actually only about 11 amps. So you won't be blowing breakers in your shop. It has 2 speeds, 22 feet per minute and 12 feet per minute. We said the maximum width is 15 inches. The maximum height is 6 inches, I'm sorry. The minimum length of board that you can send through it is 8 inches. And the maximum depth of cut is 1/8 of an inch, or a little bit less if you're running a 15-inch wide board, which doesn't happen very often. We have a digital readout here, so we can move the table up and down, or move the head of the saw up and down. And you see it changes this digital readout, and you're able to zero that so you can get it dialed in, confirm that it's correct and get it dialed in. They also offer these stops. Now this is almost like a plunge router. So we have, let's see, from 3/16, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. So these are all common thicknesses to plane something. So you set your turret, they would call this, underneath of this screw. So right now we're at 1/4 inch. We can bring it down. Until it touches, and we should be at a 1/4 inch. This is adjustable here, so you can dial that in, and your readout as well, so you want everything to match up. They also have this here. I'm not sure what this is called. It's a cool feature though. So you can put your board in. Let's say you're working and you're like, oh man, I need to take a 30-second off of this board. You can just stick the board in. So you see nothing's happening right now, and you lower. And this cursor will move. And okay, we're going to take off a 30-second, or we're going to take off a 16th, and you could still pull your board out. Well, at a 30-second, I guess you can. I stuck it in too far. You can't stick it in all the way to the anti-kickback fingers, but you're able to pull your board back out, run it through, and then you take off that specified amount. Ready to run this piece through. I should clarify, I did misspeak about the turret system here, so you need to read the cursor here. So I was actually set at 1 inch, so there's an arrow and it points to the dimension. We're at 1 inch there, 3/16 there, 1/4 inch there, and so on. So we'll run this through at the 12 feet per minute setting, and then we'll change it and show you what that looks like. We'll use our gauge here and take off a 30-second. See, you're able to still pull it out. You don't stick it in too far like I did. I'll turn on dust collection. We can run it through. So that was a 30-second pass at 12 feet per minute. Got a nice smooth finish here. The tiniest hint of snipe, nothing crazy. Every planer has snipe, honestly, and if you adjust it out, it just ends up coming back. So that was 12. We'll show you 22. One thing that you need to know about this is you can only change the speed while the machine is on. So the cutter head needs to be spinning when you change gears, just like the domino. So you can't change the width of your domino mortise without the machine being on. We'll do the same thing. We'll take off a 30-second. I'll change this while it's running. I'm going to turn on dust collection and we can make the cut. So very comparable finish. This is a brand new planer, so the cutters are very sharp. Have actually a little bit of snipe on the backside on this one that we didn't have on the first. You know, the slower that this moves, the more cuts per inch that you're getting, so you get a finer finish. There's a line that you need to ride between going too slow and getting a good finish. So good for your first passes, and then you might slow it down for your last pass to get a better finish. So all in all, it seems like a really well-built planer. Has a nice stand, you know, that you can get with it. These fold up. You do have to remove the dust shroud to fold this side up. So it's relatively compact. I don't know if I would say it's portable. It's definitely heavy. I think it weighs over 100 pounds, John. I know, you know, I'm not a fan of lugging around 100 pounds these days, but if you had to move it around, it's not too bad. A good hybrid, I think, between a lunchbox, job site planer, and something, you know, more similar to our Powermatic back there. Definitely worth a look if you're in the market for a planer. You can get this with the stand for I think about $2,100. The planer itself is $1,800, $1,900. So give it a look. Definitely a cool machine. If you enjoyed this video, let us know. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to see us talk about any other tools, be sure to leave a comment, and we'll talk to you next week.